let's start with a little sitting, and then we bow in. Right, show me. Right. All right. Well, so I was thinking what to do. So my topic will be a little bit about alignment and the use of gravity, and yeah, and both working together, of course. So I assume that everybody has some experience with the bokken. So it's not meant to be a beginner class. I just want to show you what I'm researching. And yeah, let's grab a bokken to start with. And just for the beginning, I like to practice with various kind of bokken, like heavy ones, thinner ones, even short bokken, just to have different experience with different weapons. So in this description of the seminar, I recommended to have a lighter and a heavier bokken, just to do some exercises with a different feel for the weapon. So yeah, we do some little warm-up exercise just to get you started, and then we start actually with a sword. So just take your sword as a tool and put your hands on your knees. Legs are straight. And the back is straight, extending towards your head. So you lengthen your spine and stretching the back side of your legs. And then from here, little knee bends, very small ones, just to get the knees warm and ready to move. And then little circles, just a few times. Very tiny circles to warm up the knees. Stretching again. And then have a wider stand. Put your hands on your knees and left side and right side. And in your own rhythm, a couple of times, connected to your breathing. Okay, then stretch your legs again, or straighten your legs again. Push your knees actually a little bit back. Take your sword like this, so on both ends, and you go down. Stretch legs. And from here, I start swinging. And little by little, I come up a little more. So you swing up, breathing with your breathing, of course, and then finally you get the full turn, and the other side too. All right, and a little bit warm up for the shoulders. You take your sword like this, and you circle it around your shoulders. And the other side, of course, also. All right, and then if you can, put it behind without letting go your sword. It's easier with a jo actually, but now we try it with the sword. All right, that's it. Usually I do a lot more, but we don't have so much time. All right, so we start, and what I was, or what I'm looking for is, or I mean, maybe everybody is, to how can we connect the sword, the tool, this piece of wood, to our body, make it part of our body, and don't have a like a alien piece of wood in the hand. So it becomes part of our body, and it follows, like any other bone in our body, follows our movement. So, and one key point for that is, in my opinion, how is my grip on the sword? Is the grip useful to connect with the sword, or is it just the way? Sorry, I have to. There's something popping up. I have to put it away. Okay. So I do a lot of exercises just holding the sword. So, and for the beginning, I would recommend an exercise. So everybody sits in Seiza if you can, and if you have space, and if your knees. Okay, so, and maybe I take the camera just here, so you can see my hands and my knees. So you sit in Seiza, comfortable, knees a little bit open, and then you place your head in the axis, or in the line, in the exact middle line of your body, the left hand, and then you put the other hand in the same line. Yeah, and you try to find a comfortable, relaxed position. Yeah? And from here, you shift your weight on your arms just a little bit and come back, sit on your heels. Yeah? Just do this a couple of times. And the hands are placed like on the same line. Yeah? Maybe I can go here. It's the same line. Huh? So from here, and your arms are straight. Just don't bend your elbows. Keep your arms straight and shift your weight to your hands. And then you just relax your hands for a little while. And then we switch hands, put the other one back. Now, for me, it's the right one, and the left hand is in front, and we do the same exercise. Just put your weight on it. Not that you hurt your wrists, just a little bit weight, and you can also shift your body a little bit. And your shoulders should be always as relaxed as possible. So don't tighten up your shoulders. So you can do this for a while, but now we switch already to the bokken. And now we put the bokken there where we put the hands before, just in the middle. And we grab. I mean, grab is, for me, is not the right word. I make contact. I put my hand on the sword, and I don't try to squeeze it. I just close my hands, and the flesh between the bones of my hand and the wood of the sword should not be squeezed. It just, you feel the surface of the wood, but you don't squeeze the flesh of your hand. And then you put the other hand, and it's very light. So if you would grab a person like this, the person would almost not feel your grip. And from here, you do kind of the same exercise. You find your position. You find your position, grab the sword, and then you just lean back, and the sword automatically comes up. And the goal is not to tighten the grip at all. Yeah, you keep this very, very soft, very, very light grip, and shift. You put your sword on the ground and shift. And of course, if I lift up, or if I lean back with my upper body, the sword comes up, and I feel the heaviness of the sword, of course. But I don't tighten the grip at all. The grip always stays the same. And check that your shoulders are not tighten up. The shoulder blades should be should be free to go down on your back side of your upper body. And okay, so you can do that long time if you want, but now we stay here and you keep the grip. Don't tighten up the grip, and you move. And don't think about cutting or anything like that. Just move your sword very freely. It's every way you like. So there's no way. You can experiment. It doesn't have to look fancy or martial at all. Just move your sword around, play with it, and always keep the grip like it is. So the hands do not change the position on the sword, and they do not get any harder than in the beginning. And you can move around and play a little bit with the sword. And you can do this for a while. Then you change the hands. I'm a fan since last year. I'm a fan of changing the hands on the sword. So usually in classical Rüha, you have the left hand on the end and the right hand in front. But I start now to change my hands permanently and try to do all the exercises, especially the Suguri exercises, with changing the hands constantly. So change your hands, right hand, left hand, and you can do the same. Yeah, it will feel different, of course, maybe also a little awkward because you're not used to have the right hand, or I'm not really used to it. So I just get used to it. So it always feels a little bit strange to have the right hand in the end. Okay. And look what you can do with the sword very freely. All right, and then we do the same and we come up. Here we position the camera and we come up standing, so you can relax your knees a little bit, and you change the hands back. Left hand is on the back side, on the end of the sword, and the right hand is close to the tsuba. And we start now with the legs, with the feet parallel. Not too wide. You can touch your ankles, but you don't have to. But don't stand too wide. So like hip wide, you can say. And we have the same grip. You put so. Maybe it's better. Oh, I take a lighter one. No, anyway, so you put your sword here, put your other hand there, and you have this very smooth grip. So if somebody would pull the sword, it would go out. So not harder than this. So very, very light. And you come up and hold the sword, and from here you turn your body. So you don't move the sword actually, you turn your body. So I turn my hips, the elbows are close to my torso, and the sword comes around naturally. So I don't have to move the sword itself, I just move my body. So I look to the left side and to the right side, and the sword naturally comes with me. And in the end, we have a showman-like cut, but that's not so important. And it's not really a cut, it's just let falling down the sword. Yeah, and you can do this, of course. You have to do it 1,000 times or more, but we do it a little bit less. So we change the hands, and I change the sword also, because the dark sword is not a good idea. So we change the hand. So now the right hand is in the end and the left hand is in front. We start again from here. So very, very light grip, coming up, not changing the grip at all, and start to move. Turn your body, keep your elbows to your torso or to your, close. Anyway, very close. And just move the axis of your body by looking left, looking right, and you lift your hands and you drop your hands. And of course, you can also move around. I don't know if you have space in your apartment. All right. And from this, we start more in actual, oh, my head is not here. We start to have more like a cutting movement. And what I'm looking for is, I don't know if everybody is familiar with this song, Them Bones, where they sing like the hip bone is connected to the tailbone and connected to, so every bone is connected to every bone. And I heard this a long time ago and I just remembered it. And for me, the sword becomes another bone in the body. So all the bones are connected, and if you grab a sword, it becomes like a connected bone. And that's my what do we say, my picture I have when I exercise with a sword, that this is not a tool, it's part of my body. It's a bone, like an extra bone. So we start again, have your sword, very light grip, and you come around and cut in front of you, the showman cut with a long step. And you try to get everything together, breathing in, breathing out, coming up, and the body goes and the sword follows. And for the exercise, always keep your hands on the sword. Yeah, of course it's possible to lose the fingers, but for the exercise, always keep your hands on the sword, no matter what kind. And you will feel, if you have some limitations in your body, you will feel it if you don't let go the hands. If you let go the hands and you have stiff shoulders, it's very hard to feel that you have stiff shoulders. If your hands are always on the hilt, you will feel the limitations of your body. And now we go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And we change, of course. Right hand on the end, left hand close to the tsuba, and the same. Hands stay on the hilt. Don't let go, don't grab too hard. Very lightly, but closed fingers. right. So everybody is warm, I hope. And now, Shomen, it's quite an easy cut, or an easy, yeah. It's not so hard because the sword comes, it's a symmetric for both hands. It's almost the same. Hands are very close together and you go in your own axis. But still, if you want to have a very, very, very strong cut, a powerful cut, you need to be able to put all your body weight into the cut and to make use of the gravity. And therefore, if you imagine, I have this special sword with a whip. So if you have something here and you pull, it will follow the pull. So maybe you can do it more slowly. It's very here. I just go very straight. My arms pull on the sword, and this tail here will follow. And the same it's true for the sword. So if you are able, if the sword would be the sword would be the rope, and your arm would be the sword. So if you don't have the rope, in the direction of where your arm goes, your sword goes. So if your elbows already in the line, and and you're relaxed enough in your wrist, the sword will follow the lead of your elbow. So there's no force in your shoulders. There's just the alignment of your elbow, which will eventually pull the sword with no effort at all. You don't need to focus on how to maneuver the sword. You just need to align the elbow in the direction you want to cut, and you do it. Yeah, let's try this with one arm. You can use your lighter bokken if you want, but if you have enough experience and understand the concept, you can use any type of bokken with one hand. It's not a question of muscle power. I'm not weak, but I'm not a really strong guy. So, but it's no problem, even with a very heavy suburito, if I understand that's not I don't fight the sword, I just put my body behind the direction I want to cut. So my arm is pulling the sword. And of course, it's more difficult with the left hand, but even with the left hand, there's not a big issue. But anyway, it's easier with a lighter bokken. And I stand up from here. So you just relax your arms. You put your sword and let it hang here, just for a moment, so that you're really sure that your bokken hangs behind your back. And then you shift your weight and don't cut, you just drop your arm, I would say. So cutting is after. So let the sword hang, lean in and cut. And just, of course, you put your leg, otherwise you will land on your face, but the leg is just stops the movement. It starts from here, straight back, relaxed wrist, relaxed elbow, lean in, forward, and you can use both legs if you want, or just the one. And of course, you do it with both hands, the same exercise. From here. straighten, open your chest, and really feel the weight of the sword pulling down here, pulling down, and then shift your weight. And the rest is like, it comes, because if you fall down, the sword will follow. There's no other way, because you hold it in your hand. So you don't need to worry that the sword will follow. You just go, and finally, like the slash of a whip, the sword will arrive before you. Yeah, but there's no much power to do it. So we have about half time. My watch says this. Maybe if somebody has a question, he or she can ask a question now if somebody wants. If not, it's also okay, then we just continue. But if somebody wants to ask something or has a comment, you're welcome to do so.
Max, can I ask something?
Yes.
There's the concept of ki ken tai. So the ken comes before the tai, but in your case, in your exercise, your body comes before the ken. How do you marry
because
this?
It's an exercise.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Later, when we have an actual opponent, it's hard to say. So the ki ken tai. Of course, the key it's very clear, because I have an intention that always comes first. But the body needs to initiate the movement of the sword. It's not otherwise possible to move a sword. The sword doesn't move by itself, so it cannot, it cannot come. It can arrive before the body, but the body has to start the movement. And this exercise is accelerating this aspect. So when I have an opponent, I will do it in a way that it's not like visible that my body moves first. But to get the feeling for it, I accelerate it. Yeah?
Okay, thank you.
So you're right, but yeah.
Max, I have a question. This is Bridget. Yeah. So I really like your exercise of turning the body. That's fabulous. And so the question is, when a student gets parried, I'm always thinking how to correct this movement, when they do kirikaishi, and they're always distorting their spine. So have you found that this exercise that you're teaching of basically turning the body first and keeping that axis, is it correcting that?
Yeah. So what I do is, for the exercise, of course, I try to be always straight and to find, when I get with my sword here, I can turn. If the sword is here, I cannot really turn. And, okay. And now I'm not in the middle anymore. I don't know why. Somebody kicked me out.
I'll mute myself.
Okay. So what you say, and what I also say is that, like, people put your head on the side to cut or something like that. And mostly it's because they cannot raise their arms as much. Yeah. And that's why I for the one hand exercises, it's even easier. And here you can turn and you go. And you go. And then you have both hands, the same matter. But you always arrive behind your back before the next cut.
Thank you. That's great. I'm looking forward to using that this weekend.
Yeah, you're welcome. So,
Mike, can I ask one question quickly?
Yeah.
When you're turning, so if I understood you, you're trying to keep a grip on both hands. So I find that's pretty easy. And this side, I struggle. Yeah. But should I try to keep the grip, or so not releasing like that?
So if you struggle to do something, it's maybe a sign that you have to exercise it more. Of course, because the thing is, it's not wrong. You see, it's many schools do like this. Yeah, I don't know, I think Katori Shinto ryu, I don't know, I'm not an expert in those ryu, but many ryu do like this, and then they cut. And that's not wrong, of course, but to increase the mobility or to recognize the mobility of your shoulders, this is, it hides the stiffness in your shoulders. If you keep the grip, you need to find mobility in the blade of your shoulder. Otherwise, it's difficult. And if it's difficult, for me, it was difficult, and my teacher told me not to lose the grip, so I did. And I tried to find a way in my body, and I increase the flexibility in my shoulder. And later, if you're on the battlefield, you can do whatever works. Doesn't matter. But for an exercise, I think it's a good exercise.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, nobody? Good. Then we continue. And we do an exercise for Kisagiri. Yeah, I don't know if everybody is practicing Kashima-related sword. I don't know, but anyway, that's what I do. So I will refer to this, but maybe it's also useful for other sword work. So in Kashima, Kisagiri is the core of all Kashima exercises, of all Kashima katas. Kisagiri, or the principle of Kisagiri, is the core of every movement, even of ski, of shomen, of all the attacks and defending movement in Kashima. Kisagiri is the basic source for all the movements. So if you practice Kashima, keep it in mind and try to find the Kisagiri in everything you do, and then you will make some. I made some really great findings by that. However, Kisagiri is not easy because, like I said before, if you cut shomen, everything is symmetric. It's in one line. The hands are very close together. Of course, one hand is in front, but that really doesn't matter. So it's very easy to have a clear and nice cut. For Kisagiri, it gets a little bit messy because you don't have one. No, I mean, you don't have this. You have more dimensions to it. Yeah? And to find this, I do an exercise based on the exercise we did before for shomen. So you close your feet, yeah? Put your hands like left-handed behind, right hand in front for the beginning, and you put your sword behind your back, let it hang, and then you go to the right shoulder or the left one, any shoulder you want to practice, and you put your sword on your shoulder. So it actually touches your shoulder. And from here, you pull, my shoulder, my sword is on my right shoulder. So now I'm pulling my left leg and drop my hands. And I don't try to cut. I just keep my hands here, very soft grip. I pull my leg and drop my hands. Or the leg pulls the hands. Anyway, whatever you wanna, what's your feeling is. So there's no intention in cutting, it's just pulling. And so in the end, my sword is like this, almost. So it doesn't go outside for now. Yeah, I don't say it's completely not possible, but for this exercise, my sword is here. So it comes from here and it goes here. So more or less, I mean, it's not, we are not a machine, but so the cut continues from here to there. Here, feet together, cut. It hits your center. So, put your sword, relax your shoulder, that's very important, and relax your elbows. And your elbow actually goes also diagonal. For Shomen, it's like this. For Kisagiri, if you pull your elbow, it goes like here. So the elbow goes to the opposite hip. And of course, with two hands, it's a little bit easier. And then you switch to the other shoulder, and cut. And in the camera, I saw that I just had, for a second, I had this position. And if you start from here, your Kisagiri will get messy. So you need to find an inner observer who is sure that your sword is like this before you cut. So my sword is already in the position for the cut I want to do, like in Shomenuchi. Shomenuchi, it's here, it goes straight. Kisagiri, it's diagonal. It's not here, it's not here, it's there. And it falls in place by experience. So, and then I can cut, without what is called if you take a target. I don't know. I don't know the English word, but anyway, so I don't need to focus on my target. I already know that I will hit the target in the right way because my sword is already in position. So I can close my eyes and the sword will go where my body goes. So I go front and the sword will cut diagonal because it's already there. Here and there. And if you want, you can try this with one arm. And with the other hand, you hook into your elbow. You don't have to do anything. You just hang your arm on your elbow, and then you do the movement. And it helps to find. Now I'm going forward. It's easier if you go backwards. If the leg is pulling, so my left hip is going back, and my left arm is pulling the right arm. And of course the other side. So I put my hand, just hang my arm on the other arm and pull the leg. So the arms are just following the hip bone through the connection of the other bones. Okay. And then, now we have a little bit more time. And of course, you can, if you get the feeling for it, then you try to have the same way of moving the sword. Left side, right side, and it shouldn't be a difference if you go backwards or if you go forwards, backwards, forwards. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's a basic exercise for Kisagiri. So that's what I teach for beginners, but I do it for myself every day. So it's not like a beginner exercise you forget when you're advanced. So it's, for me, it's a really, really helpful exercise for myself, and also to get the first impressions of Kisagiri to people who are very new. However, it's an exercise, so that's not really the way we do it in kata. And the next level is, or one of the next steps is to have the Kisagiri, and from a spiral, coming from a spiral movement. And for this, I have this exercise. We always have the feet together in the beginning. Now, for now, the left hand is on the end and the right hand is in front, but of course you can change. Today we only do it this one way. And you circle. Now I'm circling to the right side. And the left hand doesn't move much. It stays in the center. So it's basically like a propeller of an airplane. Like it used to be, because we don't have propellers anymore, but you have the middle one, and the sword is circulating. Your body is straight, your shoulders are free to slide on your back. And then you cut. Circling to the right, cutting from the right. Circling to the left. Cutting from the left. Right, left. And the circling is also, it's a motion of your body. The arms are just helping. And here I let go and cut. So the arms are a little bit like rubber bands. So they will go and cut. And there's no muscular tension in my arm. I just holding the sword. So here, and it goes out and comes back. Flews out and comes back. Okay, we have 10 more minutes. So this circular movement can be a basic feeling which you have inside your body before any movement. Like if I go from here into Mukamai, I have this circling inside my center. Even if it's not really visible to the outside, I can stand still, but inside it's moving. Even, I mean, I make it visible now, but even if I seem to be still, there is a spiral in my center going. Yeah, both ways. And from here, I have the spiral and I cut. So you stand still, but inside you have your spiral going. Your engine it's going. It's just no gear in it, but the engine is running. The car stands still. There's no gear, but the engine is running. And then you put the gear and and you cut Kisagiri. Or any other cut. Can be shomen also. It's the same. There's no difference. For Mukamai, you have shomen, you have Kisagiri, or Yaku Kisagiri. It's all the same. And ski also. Ski. Spiral, ski. That's the basic cuts in Kashima. We have Kisagiri, shomen, and ski. That's basically it. But it's all Kisagiri anyway. So it's only one cut in Kashima Shinryu. Kisagiri. So if you master Kisagiri, you master all the other cuts. And Kuraidachi. And Kuraidachi is basically a Kisagiri which stops. It stops. And it stops at a point where your sword will protect the whole body of yours. It's more like from becoming a shield, or from an attacking sword to becoming a shield. But from here, and you can make it bigger. So for beginner class, I will make it bigger, so it's more visible. And Kuraidachi. Kisagiri. Shomen. Ski. Here, circling. Ski. Kisagiri. Shomen. Kisagiri. Shomen. Ski. Okay. We have about 5 minutes, or maybe a little bit more. I don't know how tight the schedule is, Brian. If there is any question about Kisagiri, if you have a question about Kisagiri, I'm happy to try to give you.
Hi, Max, it's Uti here.
Yeah, hello.
I just would be interested when you do the spiral, you keep the backhand still. And for me, sometimes it feels natural to keep the front hand still and get the spiral going by moving the backhand. Is that a possibility, or does that never happen?
For me, it never happens. It's more like let me try. So you do something like this.
The front hand stays still, so you just swap the roles basically. The front hand stays still, but the backhand would circle.
Yeah, but because for me, so the left hand is the backhand. Yeah, the backhand. It's in the middle. So it's naturally it's the center of the circle, I would say. So, and the right hand, it's only helping. So I can do it completely, I mean, basically without the arms. So I just rotate and the sword will rotate. And the right hand is just helping, you see? It gives extra momentum, even if it's there. So I'm not actually doing anything with the right hand or with the front hand.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah? Okay. Anybody else? Otherwise, I would, for you, Brian.
Yes.
I would give you a short, or I mean for everybody, but because you said in the beginning that you're not really comfortable with the second of Kihon Tachi, so the number 1.2.
That's right.
Is that right? Okay. So I will try to give you a little, or for everybody, I will try to give a little explanation. I hope it will work on screen, but we will see.
Thank you so much.
As I said, so if everybody knows the first kata, it's 2 times Kisagiri, right? So I do the first kata just for a second. So you start Mukamai, yeah, and you have from here you have Kisagiri, 2 times Kisagiri, yeah. So for the second one, you have like in Kisagiri here, and then you won't continue with the second Kisagiri, but of course the other person will attack your leg. So what you do is you have the first one, which is a stop. You stop here, but it was planned was a Kisagiri, but it stops. And you want to try another one, but somebody will attack your leg. So you stop your leg. So don't think about your sword. You think about doing a Kisagiri on the other side, Yaku Kisagiri, but you stop your legs. And from here, you just go down, like Kisagiri. So you do 1 full Kisagiri, and the next time you do 1, stop your leg and continue your Kisagiri, and you will end here. More or less. Yeah? There's no form. It's just Kisagiri from here. You have Kisagiri, 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 Kisagiri. So there's no change in the upper body. It's just that you stop your legs. From the side, maybe if you do this side, 1, 1. It's a stopped Kisagiri. You want to try Kisagiri on the other side, but you stop your legs and cut down because the opponent's sword is coming to your legs. From here, 1, cut. And the position of your legs, you have 1. If you go forward, you do like this, cross. Full step would be this, and if you stop, you go here. But it's the same. Now, if you do this a couple of times, just make a step, 1, 2, and then suddenly you stop because there's an attack.
Very much. That makes that's clearer. The footwork,
yeah, you understand?
Yes, that's what I was not sure about was the footwork and how much to bend the back when you do that. You don't bring the foot forward. I guess you have to bend a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
But think about 2 Kisagiri. Do 2 Kisagiri and stop your legs.
That's really helpful.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think the time is almost up. Then we finish. How many? Right? Domo arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you very much.